Okay, so recording has started. Okay, so good everyone, and welcome to another Microsoft Excel and data analysis session. So my name is Ifeanyi or Benny, a data analyst, and today we're going to be looking at SQL Murder Mystery. So for those that don't know, SQL Murder Mystery is this popular SQL game, and we're going to try to solve it in this session. So the Microsoft Excel and data analysis community is brought to you by UrBizEdge. And UrBizEdge is a registered Microsoft Excel consulting, financial modeling, business intelligence, and data analysis solution firm in Nigeria. They're also the developers of the Nigerian Financial Market Analyst tool, which is available in Microsoft Office, and developer of the Nigeria Stock Analyst dashboard. And also, again, the brains behind the Nigerian Market Data platform. So UrBizEdge also offers online classes, and they can teach you about, we teach you all about Excel, Power BI, and Python, and also get Microsoft productivity. And also also done online courses beside physical classes as well. So today I'm going to be talking about the SQL Murder Mystery. My name is Benedict Iheagwara Iheagwara. I'm a data analyst. I'm also a technical writer, and as well as an open source contributor. So okay, sorry, I was on mute. I was muted. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So I was saying that the game is about SQL Murder Mystery, and the SQL Murder Mystery is a game on SQL, and it's about that there was a murder in SQL City. So the game is designed for both those that are beginners in SQL, those are also intermediates in SQL. So you use SQL concept and command for you to solve an interesting murder that happened in the game. So we're just going to dive right into the game in this session. So the game already has an ID here, so you can put in your commands here and you run it right on the platforms. We're not going to use MySQL or Postgres or anything. We're just going to use the platform available on the website. For those that don't want to maybe look at it later, this website, I'll post the link in the chat description as well. Okay, so when we're done test the game or getting our clues, we're going to put in the name of the who we think is the killer here, and we'll run it and we'll find out if we're right or not. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to first find out the table. So all we know about the crime is this. This is all we know about the crime. The crime took place in, so let me open a new doc.new, and we'll be solving it right on this doc document. Okay. So far, this is the clue that we have at the moment. And what the clue is telling us is that a crime is taking place, and they need our help. We know that. We know the data gave us a crime the crime scene report, but we have lost the crime scene report. So we don't have the crime scene report, so we can't go find out who killed it. So we have to go and solve the case ourselves. We know that the crime that was committed is a murder. So this, the first clue, is a murder, and it took place on January 5th, 2018. And we also know it took place, the location of the crime was SQL City as well. So we're going to start by, they say we should start by looking at the crime reports in the database of the department, of the crime department. Okay. So this, so far, this is our clue in the game now. So we're going to run the tables in the database, and we're going to see all the tables available. So we can use that using the select name. Select a command in SQL. And it's like you're selecting a particular name. So we're selecting name from the SQLite master where the type is a table. So we run this. Okay. So we have 9 different tables. And so we also need to look at, so the first we're told that we should take a look at the SQL, like the table from the crime report, which is this table. So we run that here, and this is the table. Okay, so now it's left to us to get started on the game. Okay, so we can also look at the schema, which is here, and this is the game schema. So let's open this in a new tab so that we can have a tab that is just focused on that. So this is the data schema of the entire table. This is the crime reporting data. And if you notice, it's not linked to any other table. But we need to first of all get started here. And we'll get any clues we find here. We're going to run it through the other tables till we find our solution. So the solution table and this solution are not linked together. Okay. So to get started, for us to look at that table, we're going to use the select function in SQL. So the select function is a function that allows us, so we're selecting every column from the table is called crime scene. So we need to also make sure our spellings are right. So it's crime scene report. And when we run this, let's run this. So it gives us, these are the different dates that different crimes were taking place. These are different crimes that took place, the description of the crime and the city. So description, this is probably the police report. So we need to look for the police report of the crime we're looking for. Okay, so let me put this schema in this sheet. So this is the, yeah, schema. Okay. Okay, so we know our crime took place here. This is our crime. This is all we know about our crime. So we need to find out all of this information from the crime scene. So what we're going to do first of all is we need to find out, we know the crime that took place, type of crime is a murder. You can see here we have different kinds of crime. So we need to like kind of filter our data till we get just when the type of data. So the column name is called type is equals to murder. Okay. But if we run this, we'll find out that it's still not enough information. Like the murders took place on different various dates and in different cities. But they also gave us that clue that beside it being a murder that took place, it also took place on a particular date. If we take a look at the date, so we need to put and when the date is equals to, the date is written as this. So we need to write this out there the same way. So it's 2018 on the 5th. On the 5th, but once okay, January 1st, then the 5th. Okay. And we also know that it also took place in SQL City. So we can also do the same thing again. And the city that this took place is equals to SQL City. Okay. So we remove this and we run this query. So now we run our query, we can find out that this is the model we're looking for that took place in SQL City or this particular date, and it's also a model as well. And this our new clue, or this is the criminal report, the case, the police report for the crime. So let's take a look at the second report. Okay, so now we know that there's a security footage that shows us there are two weaknesses. So we have two weaknesses. Okay, that's the first thing we should know. So we have two weaknesses. The first weakness lives at the last house at Northwest and Northwestern. And the second weakness is named Annabelle, and she lives on Franklin Avenue. Okay, so we need to now go back to our data schema and find out where can we find these weaknesses. We know these weaknesses also live in SQL City as well, since they live here. But now we need to find out which of our tables will give us our weaknesses. So if we take a look at all our tables that we have here, we can see we have the crime reports. It can't be this. The driving license can also have the information as well, but we don't have the driver number beside that. We don't have the names of both weaknesses, so we can't use that. You can see the Facebook events checking. I'm not sure we'll get that there. We have the interviews. We don't know our weaknesses name, so we can't go check out the interviews first of all with the police. Then the get fit number, the get fit check-in table, we have the solution table, we have the income, but we have the persons table. So the persons table is more likely to have the names of where we see all these, the people we're looking for. Okay, so now we need to explore the persons table. So to explore any table in SQL, usually you use the select and use asterisk to mean you want every column in that particular table. So once you select from the persons table, if you notice some of them are blue, but these are like actual commands in SQL, and the ones that are not showing blue are because and again, SQL is not actually, it's not case sensitive. So if I would run this without, like now I run this, internet is started again. Okay, you ran. Let me just run it here. Let me do this one for our table. Let me run it here. Okay, so even though I run this, yeah, so you see, it gives us a list of everybody. So even though I run this, even though my stuff is small later, it's still going to run as well. So that's the first thing. SQL is not really case sensitive. So I run. Yeah, so I still get the exact same table. We only make it capital letter so that it's more readable. So those are trying to read your query. So we have where SQL is from this table. We also want to know where. Now let's find out. So the first weakness is, let's take a look at the very first, our first weakness. Our first weakness lives at the last house on the streets. So we're trying to explore him when the address is address number, not the address number, so the address street's name, or without the address number. So where the address street's name. So when the address street's name is equals to the street. Okay. We also know that the weakness also lives on the last house, the very last house on the street. So we don't need to really let our table go. So beside it also being on this particular street is the last house. And for us to find out the last house, we can use something called the order by. So the order by is very similar to your Excel sorting. So we need to sort our table by the street numbers, since houses are sorted on a street based on the street numbers. So the street number, but we also want it again in the descending. So I will take a look at this. So when we are writing our query, we'll just run our query now. And when we run our query, we can find out that who we're looking for, they know the guy is Morse, and this is an ID number. So we know, let's take his details and take a look at him. So we have our first weakness. So I'm opening a new this to make it easier. I don't know if you can see the sheet, so should I make it bigger? Okay. So this is the very first person. This is ID number. This is his name, his license, his address, nick type, and maybe I could just maybe copy the first two to make it better. Yeah, okay. So now let's explore our second weakness. Then we'll check out what both of them have to say at the interview with the police. Okay. So our second weakness is called Annabelle. So we have our name. So from the same table again, we want when the person's name is equals to Annabelle. And we also want where the person lives at on the street as well. So we need to replace the street with this other street. We also don't know the house number of Annabelle. And where they have word statements, we're also going to wrap this up with and. But the thing is that we can see last name and first name all together here. So we don't even know is Annabelle our first name or our last name. So let's try this. So we're going to use the and. So this persistent sign is a wildcard, and it's trying to tell the SQL database that all we know is that our first name is Annabelle and she has a last name which also has multiple multiples. There are also multiple alphabets after the Annabelle. So it's not strictly Annabelle, it's Annabelle something. But we don't know how many letters or how many characters that something is. So we use the and, which means multiple characters. So we run this and it shows us no data returned. Okay, so where the street name is this and the name, okay, it's not this, it's actually the name is like Annabelle. So this is who we're looking for now. Okay, so we know the two people that we're looking for now. This second person. Okay, so now we need to go back to our table and find out where can we get information about them. And there's an interview. They had an interview about where they find the police crime reports, where they told the crime to the police, or reported the crime to the police. The police interviews them. So let's take a look at the interview. And you can see the person's ID digits and the script, which is a text data. So the script will tell us what the person said they saw, or any clue the person gave the police, which helped the police solve the case. So we're going to come back here. I want to explore the interview table. So let's explore the interview table. So we want to explore the interview table. So the interview table, we have the person's ID number, we also have the transcript. And there are a lot of transcripts here. We can take a look at them one by one. So let's get our ID number. So we're trying to find out what each of these people said. So we're going to find out going to put in the ID number of both our weaknesses. So the first ID number of the first weakness is this Mortis number. Or we also want to find out again the ID number of Annabelle. So let's find out what Morty and Annabelle had to tell the police. So do this and run it. So now we get the ID numbers. So this is for Morty and this for Annabelle. And they gave the police 2 clues. So let's copy this clue and take a look at what they had to say. So now we're in the interview table. Okay, so the first clue is from Morty. So Morty said he had a gunshot. So we know that the murder was a gun. That was a crime. That was a tool that was used for the crime. He had a gunshot, and a man ran out. So we know we're looking for a guy. We also know again that he had a Get Fit Now bank. Okay, and he put out this bag. The bag starts with 48 something. So this is the ID number of the membership card. So this is member's number. Okay, and we only know that people that have these bags are always gold stars, members of this gym. Okay, you also had the plate number that included this as well. That was the first thing that Morty had to tell the police. Now let's look at what Annabelle told the police. So Annabelle said something similar. She saw a murder. Okay, she recognized the killer. Okay, from her gym. So I guess she also goes to Get Now again, and where she was working out last week on January 9th. So are there any like questions? Okay, so again, if there are any questions, you can. Everybody's. If there are any questions, you could. Okay, no questions. Okay, so now we have these two details now. So let's take a look at the first person's details, Moti, and find out. Then we'll take a look at Lamio. So for Moti's details, it tells us that the person has a get now fit bag. And only members of the gym has this bag, and this is gym member, and he's also a gold star member. If we remember our table, remember that our get fit now members table, which is this table. So let's explore this table and see what details or how we can use what Moti told us to find out if we can find out who committed the murder. I just remember they didn't tell us the victim's name. So okay, so get now of it. So again, I told you that SQL the tables name are very your spelling, though it's not case sensitive, the spelling of a table should be correct. Okay, so is get fit now, that's the name of the table. So let's explore our table. So we run it. Okay, so our table has an ID number, the person's ID number, the name, the start date, and the membership status. Okay, so the ID number in the, so you notice there are two ID numbers. So in SQL, we have primary key and your foreign key. So the person's ID number is the primary key of this table is the ID number, which is the ID number of the gym. So the gym gives you an identification number. But this person's ID number is linked to this person's table. So the ID number is a foreign key to this particular table. So this ID number is like your national ID number. So for living in this city, you get an ID number, though you get the ID number also again by being a member of this gym. Those are the two ID numbers we're seeing there now. Okay, so let's take a look at our table and find out who can find out the crime. Okay, so I copy this and I paste it here so that I can explore it one by one. Okay, so we know it was a gunshot. There's no table here that gives us who can use this gunshot for. No. Now, all you know is a guy. There's no table for gender or sex here. So we'll also take this out because we can't use that. We know the person has a get feedback. We're already exploring that table. Okay, great. We know the membership number starts with this. Okay, so for us to do this, we can now come here and do where, again, I thought it's not case sensitive, do just for, it's just best practice that you always, select. It's just best practice that you always keep your the SQL commands in calculator. So when the membership status, okay, so what's in the membership was also a gold star member that owns that bag. So where the person is, the member status is also a gold star member. We said being a gold star member, we also know that the man got him with a car with a plate number this. We can't really see the plate number here, so we'll explore this clue later. We also know that the person's ID number of the other ID number. So that is this ID number, which is the one for the gym number. The person's one is your national ID card or like your passport number. But this particular is the ID number the gym gives to you by being a member of the gym. So this is what we have. So we have this where the get fit now ID number is, again, we don't know. It says starts with, so we're expecting that it's more than just these 4 letter words because everybody has up to 5 letter words. So it starts with this 878 and okay, so I wrap it up because the data here is in text. You can see numbers and text together. Okay, so we only use 2 of the. So I run it and no data gets returned. So where the ID number is equals to good. The okay. Oh, okay. So I spelled this stuff wrongly. Is 878Z, not 78. 78Z. Okay. times capital Z. So let me run it again. Okay, so we have to somebody message. Yeah, subway Z. Yeah, sorry. So we have two clues now of these models. We have the person's ID number, the ID number of this, but we have two suspects. So either of these two people did it, committed a crime, which is okay. So these are the two people that now are suspects. So let's also explore Annabelle's data. So we take a look at Annabelle's data. She saw a murder happen. We already know that. She recognized the killer from a gym. Yeah, that's this gym. Okay. Then where she was working out on this date. The thing is that this table does not have a date column. So for us to find out the date she was working out, we have to check out the table. We need a table that kind of like measure, so it's like records, maybe your daily check-in. Whenever you come to the gym, maybe you register your name, or they use your card to like check into the gym. Okay, so we have a table called the Get Fit Now check-in. So we need to explore that particular table. So I'll show you how to do this. There's another way we could also have gotten this without doing it one by one. Okay, so I come back here and I want to explore this table. We only know the date, which is January 9th of this. So let's cut this and run it. Okay. So we have this now. A killer from our bank, from our gym. So let's check where the person, the day she was working out is asterisk. The membership ID, we don't know that she doesn't remember the membership she saw. The check-in date. We know the date. So we check in where the check-in date. The check-in date is equals to also January, she was January 9th. This thing, but you said last week. And we know the crime took place on, when was the crime taking place again? The crime took place on 2018. 2018. So the year we are working with is 2018. Then again, it was in January and it was on the 9th date. Okay, so let's run this and find out what we have. But okay, it ran and a lot of people apparently came to the gym that day. A lot of people came to the gym that day. And this is the whole number of people that came on the gym that day. I will look in this very few. So what we could do now is to join the clue she has, this clue that she has, along with the clue Morty gave us. So Annabelle and clue. This table is very small, so maybe you could say you want to manually see if you can find this name here or find any name here. And that way you could have done this again with SQL using SQL John. So SQL John is very similar to the merge you have in your formula with maybe Excel or Power Query. So we'll merge these two tables together, these two tables, and find out the ones that when both parameters that we want are available on both these two tables. Okay, so let's merge these two tables together. So we're going to merge the check-in date, the check-in members date, the check-in members, the get fit now members table. So we're going to merge this table. We're going to join it with this particular table. So when you're joining your tables, there have to be something these two tables share together, these two tables have in common, where you're going to join it on. Just like how you're doing your Excel, you open an Excel sheet and you want to join the two tables together. If two tables are not like, they don't have something related, over in Power BI, they need to have this table that they both have in common. If you remember, I talked about we had primary key and foreign key. So we're going to use that now. So looking at this table, we have the membership ID here. The membership ID here of the checking table is the ID of this Get Fit Now ID. If you remember, so you check into the gym with your gym ID and not your national ID. So to join the table in SQL, you mention that table. In GetFit now, the table is called ID. So once where the GetFit now ID is equals to the GetFit now, but this one's called membership dot ID. So where these two are similar, we run our table. But see, we get a very large list of numbers. So now we have to take in those clues and to sort it out or to move out those that are not the criminal. So instead of us doing this way, let's get these two results again. Okay, so again, we are back here again. So we know a gunshot, the man ran out, the man has a GetFit number. We're exploring this already. We also know that, so I go to where. So where the GetFit now membership is the membership ID. The membership ID number. So the membership ID number, which is this one. So where the membership ID number is equals to, sorry again, like this. So let me just copy this here before I make some mistake here. Okay. We also know the bag, which is the membership status. So GetFit now, but now we're doing with membership underscore status. So membership status equals to the goods. Okay. Only good members have that gym. Okay. So now the car plate number, none of our table are into the car plate number, which is the driver license table. So we can't use this for anything at the moment. We also saw that a mother upon at her gym. So now let's also use the dates that she told us as well. So beside this, we also know when that information is on this get sheet checking table. So the get fit checking table, and that's called checkout check-in time. So no check-in date. So the check-in date is equals to, we said it was 2018 January and on the 9th. Okay, so we run this now. No data returns. So let's find out if I made a mistake. So the get fit now joining on this table when the get fit now is equals to membership ID, where the get fit ID number is equals to this and this. Okay, so I saw the mistake. Can anybody see the mistake that we made? Can you use a join in this case? Yes, you can use a join in this case. Yes, you can use a join in this case. So the mistake that we made was, or the mistake I made is, remember we said the clue told us that the ID number starts with this. That means there are also other digits outside this ID number. It's not just this ID number. So I shall have kept the white card here, which is the run it now. Exactly. So now we have our information. And if we see the table is longer, it has the columns of both tables because I said I wanted to see everything here. So I already numbered this. So now we have narrowed it down to, this is our two, these are our two weaknesses or our two suspects at the moment. So no weaknesses, suspects. Okay. So now how can we find out who our list, which of them is our suspect? How can we find out those? Okay. So if you remember the clue, remember that we did not take a look at this particular clue. The getaway car. The man had a car that included these digits on it. We take a look at this. So let's take a look at both our suspects now. Okay. In Nigeria. What do you mean? Okay, to jump to the third table. Very table we might start getting very complicated, and this table is there's nothing. Okay. No, it's usually the license ID here is not as join. It's license ID here. So this table and this table actually have nothing together. I just want to join to this, and that will just get it become a lot. So let's just take out these two names and find out what we want to get. So we explore now the let's explore the driving license table. So once our everybody from our person's table, well, let's also join it now. This time we'll join it with our driving license table, which is this driving license table. So I copy this and I paste it here, so that I'll make sure I don't get the spelling wrong. The next thing is now we want to join it on one of the persons. On the person's table is called license ID. So LICENSC, LICENSC, and swap ID, where this license ID is equals to the driver's license ID. Okay. Let's run this first of all for now. This is taking a while. Yeah. So now it gives us like a very loud list of table. It literally joins the two tables together. There are a lot of names there. So the next what we're going to do now is we have our ID number and license number. So let's take a look at that very last clue. The last clue told us that the person that got into the car, the plate number was. So let's just say where the person's plate number, and the plate number is found on what table? Plate number, which is this, is found on the driving license table. So driving license.id. So driving license table. But want to use the plate number, so put dot. So this is now the table, and the dot is now the name of the column on that table. The table is called plates underscore number. Yeah, plate underscore number. So where the plate number is equals to this. But we say the plate number included this. So we're not very sure if this H4 to W. We're not sure, is this number is this the first 4 digits of the number of the plate number, or the last 4 digits of the plate number, or is it in the middle? We have no idea. Because the plate numbers are more than 4 digits. So we use our white card again. So we're going to use this, and we use it in front because we're not sure on what side it's going to be. So let's run this and see, we'll find out a name. Okay. Yeah, I always do this because I don't know I make this mistake. So yeah, yeah. So it gives us, now we have 3 people. What happens? Oh, sorry. Okay, so sorry. So lots of again. So we're selecting everybody from our person's table. We want to join it on the driver license table. Probably not run this table. So we run it here, pick the driver license table. So run it here. So we want to join it on where the person's dot ID, right? Yeah, no. So the person's driving license actually. Person's driving license as for ID is the same thing as our driving license dot ID. Run this to make sure that everything's okay. So this simply is, yeah, this simply joins the two tables together. So now it's time for us to use our clue. So we do where the driver license dot plate number, where the license plate number is equals to, this was the plate number of the car that it was used to get away. So I come here and I paste it here. But yeah, the following was like, so the plate number is similar to, we use the white card because we're not sure is if it is a star city, ends it, or it begins it. And I run this, Okay, so now it returns a list of names. We can say that all males have a female here. So it's definitely not the last digit, but it's one of these two. Another thing we can also do again is we could now, these are two suspects. The ID is two ID numbers. Kind of try out to like see which of them does it. So beside this plate number also being this, we also know the person's ID number, which is dot ID. The person's ID number is either this is the person's dot ID. The person's ID was either this or it was this. This was the two ID number we had. Okay, so we'll find out our last suspect. So he picked up one of them, and this is the ID number of the person, and this is his name. So now let's try out and find out if we're right. So I just put January 1 WER. Okay. So let's value from solution and run it. And we're right. So calculations, you have found the murderer, but there's no, if you're up for the query, track query in the interview, so there is to find out the criminal victims. If you feel competency or SQL skills, just complete these final steps in modern. With no more than easy insert and written new suspect to check out your number. So track query the interview query of the murderer to find out the real victim behind this crime. Okay, so let's check out the interview of this particular person. So this is ID number. Yeah, that's his ID number. Yeah, so that was the crime report. Oh, no, interview. So interview. Okay, so where the person's .id is equals to this. So I run this. There's not just person as person dot. Oh, interview here. In interview column, the ID was not. It was given a different name. Okay, it was just yeah. Okay, so I was hired by a woman with a lot of money. I don't know her name, but I know she's around 5'1", 6". She has a red there and she drives a Tesla model. I know she entered the SQL query consent 3 times in December. With a lot of money. Okay. Is the same instance statement in your news with your new suspect to check out the answer. Shattered the SQL request consent in three times. Okay, so we know who killed the murderer right now. So any questions? Yeah. Shall we share the car ID number? Shall we share the car ID in the driver license table? Yeah, that's what we did. We shared the car ID in the driver license table. So I don't know, are there any questions so far? Because it shares the gender as mentioned, the lady. Okay, in that table. The thing is, I'm not sure we would have a table for she attended the SQL since it's created 3 times. Let me pop it here. Okay, to find out who we got hired by. So find out who we got hired by. So got hired by a woman, she has a lot of money. So her income, she's she's around this. So first for this is our killer. This she drives, has over there, she attended this concert. So if you want to find out who killed her. Oh, okay, so there's a Facebook check-in table. But we don't have an ID number to find out the person's, like, the check-in. Use the crime report solution, the income. Okay, so SSN. So SSN. Okay, let's take a look at that SSN table, or the income table to see. Okay, so from this, the persons, not people's persons. Then I would have any information about the concept, so we can't really find out what he did. So this is on. Okay, so if we check back that the income table, so we would have any other information like I must get who killed, who this woman is, the woman that hired him. She drives a Tesla. Okay, interview license table, the car make. Okay, let's check that table. This is its own. I think we have the information here already. Okay, we have the information, so let's add it here. So the car make. We know it's a Tesla Model X. We're not sure it was written. Plus just so let's use a white card in both sides. Okay, so somebody that has a Tesla. Then, okay, I think we actually find the person that is. So let's check again. So yeah. Okay, so we know the gender is female and the gender of the person is a female. We also know that the hair color she's red. That's all we know about the person. We don't know about her. Okay, we know her height actually. So and we also know her height. So the height of this female is she's either 6'5" or she's also can be 6'3", 6'7". So she's between this. But we use this. Well, we also know she has a lot of money. She has very extra as a Tesla, but we don't know about these concepts. So I guess we'll find out. It will come. We still have a lot of what happened. Okay, so that means the table is not totally clean. Then the air color is also red up. Both again. Okay. So let me say it. Yeah. Then for the height. Okay, so this is okay. This who hired what's his name? Jeremy Boa to kill the kids. So we have to victims. So we have this. Well, let's say we'll get her name because this table does not have anything about names. So we'll go to person's table. So lost John, where is it? Okay, this is it. So lost John. So since we want all of this thing, I come here and I put this dot. What about this dot? I'm trying to join the two tables together. Where the height dots. Okay, so the person's table. Okay. Then join it with the driver license table. Where the person's table. Person's table. We're joining both these two tables based on what ID is equals to not ID, license ID. LICENSC underscore ID is equals to our driver license dot ID. Okay, so this is the number of the person. So my name is Red. So we know right now the killer's name is, and this who hired him was hired by Nicole. So the killer's name is Jeremy Bowen. And was hired by this guy. So those are who committed the crimes. Okay. Oh yes, that's right. Okay. I also did that. Okay. So I've solved the case at the moment. So I don't know if there are any questions. Maybe if you have tried it and maybe you find this an easier way we could have done it also again. That's also helpful. None. Okay, so I'll be any the code then. So we have another session in session. It's not today. It's going to be this next week. We're going to also have about Men's is also going to come again talk about the most amazing formula in Excel. So you could RSV for a session here. This is for next week. So this one next week. And we also have another session in an hour. So it's more of an MAA session about Power BI roots. So you can also RSV for a session here, or you can also join the Teams call, or you could join the YouTube link as well. So I'm going to share the YouTube link also. So share the YouTube link. So like I mentioned, it's a already pre-recorded session. That's just on live. Yeah, so it's just also this session that we just did is going to be available on YouTube as well. And this is the link to join. So you can join the session today live on YouTube. So this is the session, this is the YouTube link to join where to be streamed. Or you can also just join the Teams call. You can also just join the Teams call. So for the Teams call, the link is here. So in 1 hour, exactly by 6 o'clock. She was talking about Power BI and answering various questions about Power BI. So thank you again for joining the session, and thank you for all the clues and hints that was dropped during the session as well. So I'll be ending the call now.